Dementia is a disease which affects your cognitive ability to understand and also communicate in perhaps ways that you used to in the past.
Dementia now is beginning to affect every single family in Britain. I don't go into any situation when I don't find somebody whose life has been touched by one of their friends or their family who's got dementia, and that wasn't the case maybe 20 years ago, or maybe it was, but we just didn't hear about it. If you're just going on and nobody is telling you what's wrong with you, they're not telling your family, then again the sense of isolation is absolutely enormous.
We put together this campaign, End Racism This Generation, to engage a broader range of people in a discussion about race and racial justice in our society. Dementia is one example where we can see that there may well be some implications in terms of racial equality. This helps those people who are concerned with addressing dementia to do so better, as well as providing those people who are suffering from the effects of dementia in minority ethnic communities a space in which to share and amplify their voices.
I'm mixed race. I am half English and half Chinese. My mother is Chinese, my father was English, she was in the forces. My mother has experienced suffering from this illness. People will go back to their first language. They'll start to lose their English, like in my mother's case. You're no longer seen as that person that you were, maybe as the person that maybe you were an interpreter or you were a nurse that spoke fluent English. Now that you're struggling with your English, you're actually now seen possibly as an immigrant or someone that's come into the country that has maybe never made an effort to communicate or speak in English.
My mum's been diagnosed with dementia now for 7 years. That's a long time. My dad's her full-time carer. My dad's 84 years old. He's amazing. He's just fantastic. And to watch the love that there is between my mum and dad, I think it's an inspiration. In some ways we're blessed because some people with dementia can be very challenging and sometimes very aggressive, and their personality changes overnight, and the person is not the person you knew.
One of the main issues that's always raised by staff is language barriers. We don't have that speaking person who's able to communicate with that particular person.
Dementia doesn't discriminate, and it can affect any one of us. People with dementia can become invisible. People from different ethnic backgrounds with dementia have got a kind of double challenge there.
At the moment there's a lot of focus about the danger of ethnic identity matching. So the way that we can meet the needs of groups of people is to find someone from the same community to go and handle them. Now that worries me, because that's saying to me, there's a group of Sikh people, you are Sikh, Karen, so you can go and meet their needs. I may not have grown up around Sikh people. I may not have had much to do with the community. I may have, because of my experiences, rejected many of the norms that people follow.
If you're from a community where the tradition is that you look after your own people, then the toll that takes on carers is just almost unbelievable.
It's very easy for us to go, oh, but they look after their own, don't they? The most important thing that came out of my research was, yes, they're looking after their own, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it well. And are they actually doing it by choice or because they have no other offers?
You take one day at a time, really. You become more busy. You become someone else's memory. It's constantly something, for me, that's always in the back of my mind. You know, there's a lot of people in the same situation as me, and you just try to share knowledge about what happens and, I guess, learn from each other, really. Obviously with government cuts, it makes it more and more difficult for professionals to deal with this. So by giving families some sort of structure or somewhere to go to, that might help. And that's what we try to do in Yako. It's a way to link family members together and to also include somebody with dementia or anybody with a health problem for them to be able to send reminders, photographs, messages, but also there's a translation system in there to help people in a situation where communication is a problem.
Disability is socially determined, we can make our society a space in which people with different needs can achieve to their full potential.
Unless we put in place now support mechanisms for people to be able to live well with dementia in the community, the NHS and our social care systems, which are already creaking under the demand that's out there, will begin to collapse. I think that family life will suffer enormously. If you think about the toll on carers who actually save us billions of pounds every year because they're doing work that they're not paid for, people get to breaking point. And if people get to breaking point, then the whole system will begin to collapse. So I think that we've made progress, but we still have quite a long way to go.